Right then guys, so did any of those shots at the start of today's video remind you of you when you get around the green? I'm guessing if you're watching this video, that's probably the case. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to never ever duff another chip shot. Now what is duffing a chip shot? It could be catching it heavy, could be catching it thin, could even be topping it, but just a very, very poor contact that makes it incredibly hard to get the ball near the flag with that chance of one putting. It'd be nice to chip in from time to time, but if you're watching this video, you've probably got more of a thought of just getting the ball on the green. So today I'm going to talk you through why your technique might be letting you down a little bit. We're going to talk about a nice simple technique that's going to get you a good strike on the ball every time, and maybe how choosing the wrong club is also making it more difficult than it needs to be. So for what should be a relatively easy or simple shot in golf, there's a lot of golfers really struggle with chipping. Now, for me, a lot of that comes partly down to setup, and maybe because of setup, how they struggle to control where the lowest point of their golf swing is. So predominantly what I would see with golfers who struggle with strike and therefore duff a lot of chip shots is they tend to put the ball a long way back in their stance, maybe keep the weight 50-50 or possibly lean a little bit forward. But what that does is it creates a huge amount of shaft lean. And I think most golfers, because they're told they need to hit down on the chip shot, what that creates from a ball position a long way back and a shaft lean forward is that the low point of the swing would be a long way after the golf ball. So if we do hit the ground, we can see how that leading edge of the club really digs into the turf. That's that one that literally goes 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Or when we do that, we get still too high by the time we get to the ball and we thin it off that front edge or even top the ball. And it never surprises me kind of when golfers have that technique, you know, how many actually top it from this range and yet on a full shot can strike the ball really solidly. So the little change we're going to look for with setup is we're going to keep the ball very centered in our stance, and all we're going to look to do is we're going to move our sternum very slightly in front of the golf ball just to create a tiny bit of shaft lean. But I'm also going to, instead of have the club sat on its normal lie angle, I'm going to bring the club a little bit closer to me and make it a bit more upright, just so there's less interaction of the bottom of the club with the ground. So what we're looking to do is weight forward, sternum forward, keep the weight on that front foot, and that's going to make the lowest point of our swing much nearer the golf ball, but still just slightly after. And then if we make some practice strokes from here, we can see the club is just literally bruising the turf. And when we get that club kind of gliding along the ground, it's so much easier to get a good strike with the club face. And then once you're striking the ball well, you can then start making some decisions on where I'm going to land the ball and how it's going to roll out. So I think once you've had a few little practice swings like that, and you can feel the club interacting with the ground, then we look at hitting some shots. I mean, I'm playing this with my sand wedge, my 56 degree, which I see a lot of guys chip with. And I'm going to talk in a minute about possibly how this might not be the right club all the time as well. But ball in the center, we're going to go a little bit nearer the golf ball, tiny bit of shaft lean, and all I'm looking to do is return the club with that tiny bit of shaft lean. I don't want lots and lots of forward shaft lean. So once we're here, lovely crisp strike. That one just gripped a little bit more than I thought it would do. I don't know whether you know, I've got some new wedges, and if you've not checked the video out, go and check out my new custom Vokey wedges. Part of the reason I wanted to do a chipping video today. So, closer to the ball, ball in the centre, sternum in front. can see there how much better that interaction is with the ground. I'm not taking a divot, I am touching the grass and I'm maybe just touching the ground, but I'm getting a lovely crisp strike on the golf ball, and that allows me to get the ball nearer to the flag. Now, once you've got that technique right and you can strike the ball, I mean, in theory, you can then use any club, but I would probably say a lot of the time golfers, in my opinion, take a bit too much loft. Now, this is a great shot because I'm literally just off the edge of the green. So I don't actually need to throw the ball too far. I could get the ball just on the edge of the green here and running out, which is definitely where maybe even something a bit more like a 7-iron would work. So we're going to go same technique, so ball in the middle, club a little closer so it's more upright. Maybe makes it feel a little bit more like a putter as well when it's like this. Get that sternum forward and then swing just big enough to land it on the green. That one didn't quite roll out how I was hoping, but the beauty with taking something a little bit more straight-faced is if you just misstrike it a little bit, which I'm not talking about duffing it, if we just slightly mishit it, the ball's still going to go forward, it's still going to run well. If you were to catch it a little bit thin, the ball's only going to go a little bit lower and therefore roll a little bit more. So I think whenever I can, I'm looking to get the ball on the green as quickly as possible. I would probably have a couple of practice strokes, just getting a feel for where I want to land the ball, so maybe a little further on than last time. And that might go in, not quite. But then the technique becomes so simple and it's so easy to hit the ball well, it's just incredibly easy to never, ever duff a chip shot again. Right then guys, so I hope you've enjoyed today's content about never duffing a chip shot again. If you have enjoyed it, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. Please do comment if you've taken this out and tried it. And if you have tried it and it's worked, remember to smash that like button. It really does make a massive difference for me. If you don't currently subscribe to my channel, please consider clicking the button below, ring that notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.